Yes, hump day. And we're going to get you over the hump here on a Wednesday, October 15th, inside our Salem 5 studios. For Boston has entered the chat. Travis Thomas, the Kasey Hudson, Adam Kaufman. We are partying here this morning. Good morning, my friends.
Hello. Good morning. Thank you for getting us over the hump.
They couldn't see me when I did that. But
I know. If we were standing yet again, though, you were going to have to dance because the Humpty Dump song is like so stuck in my head.
I know.
That's just a girl from back
I'm okay sitting down this morning.
Like Digital Underground?
Yeah, old school.
All right.
How about that?
Yeah.
That's a throwback.
That's a real throwback.
All right, so coming
up. We just
up.
told the age of everyone at this table,
Pretty much.
by the way. So.
I know, kids watching are like, who?
What's
All
Humpty
right,
Dump?
stop what you're doing.
I know. Coming up, we do have some new news. Not surprising, but new news on Alex Bregman. We'll get into that. We have Lenny DiNardo to help us break all that down. Plus, the Patriots are just hotter than fish grease. Every time I say that, Adam laughs. But it's the truth. So now...
I feel like you're trying to temper the laugh this time. He's like...
He laughs every time.
So you don't hear a lot of that around New England.
Yeah,
right.
Hotter than fish grease.
Tell me you're not from here.
Yeah,
okay.
that's why I'm here. So listen, what we're going to do is recalibrate the win totals because someone at the desk really undersold the Patriots. So we'll get a chance to have a redo there. And remember this, I always say this, it's three of us up here and you. Call us, 617-790-0928. Get in here, but let's start with Alex Bregman because I saw a couple tweets yesterday that were very alarming to me, even though we kind of already knew. And we talked yesterday on the show about Bregman opting out, reports saying he's going to opt out. But even when I see it, it's just like, oh, gosh, here we go. Scott Boras yet again.
I think that you had the reaction that fans had because, funny enough, we got some comments yesterday of people being like, is it official? Is it official? Has it been officially reported? And it's like, well, ask and you shall receive. It has been officially reported now. But I would say this. I mean, it's been kind of a part of the rumor mill for a couple of weeks now. And I don't think that the surprise was there in a sense that it became official yesterday. It's just more so after all the good, after the journey that we've been on, why entertain it? But he has to entertain it, right?
Yeah, I mean, this is what I saw yesterday. Jon Heyman tweeted, Alex Bregman planning to opt out after a nice first year in Boston. Red Sox return seems logical, but there will surely be options, one potential surprise suitor in here.
I hate that tweet.
Okay, Heyman. Way to leave us on a hanging on by a thread here.
Yeah, we can connect some dots and throw out some potential suitors, obviously. But as far as the news goes, like you said, not wildly unexpected. No. Not unexpected at all. Like, do you guys know that at some point this winter it's going to snow around here? Like, no kidding. He opted out. Again, we knew this was telegraphed by Scott Boras, by Alex Bregman, by everybody involved, by reports weeks ago from Jeff Passan of ESPN saying that Bregman was looking for 150 over the course of this offseason from somebody and longer term, potentially less AAV, average annual value. You need to think back basically not quite a year ago when Bregman was a free agent thinking about leaving Houston. They made him an offer. I think it was maybe around $155 million, but he wanted more than that. He was chasing $200 million. The Detroit Tigers and his old manager, A.J. Hinch, came calling. 6 years, $172 million, 171.5, I think it was exactly. And Bregman didn't say, no, I don't want to go to Detroit. He countered. He looked for another $10 million. Detroit said no. At that point, Bregman and Boras said, you know what, I think maybe we can do better. Let's set ourselves up with a different opportunity. So they go to Boston.
Gamble.
And they gamble. He bets on himself, but they go to Boston and strategically get a 3-year, $120 million deal, which you may be 120. That's less. Why would he do that? Because it gave him opt-outs. Gave him opt-outs after each of the 2 years, the first 2 years of that deal. Now he's taking advantage of that opt-out, unsurprisingly, and he's looking for that big payday. Detroit is still interested. These two teams that are playing in the American League Championship Series right now, Seattle, Toronto, could have interest. The Cubs could have interest. And yes, before people panic, absolutely, the Red Sox are going to be interested. This does not mean Alex Bregman is walking out the door and he's gone. You got to turn your sights to Suarez or internally figure out with Marcelo Meyer or whatever it is. It's Bregman is just looking for more dough. He wants the bag. He's 31. Coming off an all-star season, his first since 2019. Statistically, he's had maybe his best year since 2022. He wants to get paid, and he's gonna.
So everyone just leave your emotions out of this. That's what I'm hearing. Like, this is a business move. It doesn't mean he's leaving. He's just trying to get more moolah. Who isn't? In fact, Arlu Merloni, I liked his tweet because he was like, listen, I'm not getting caught up in this, okay? Get ready. There will be a week where it looks like he gone. Then there'll be a week where the Sox aren't even in the mix. I'm not getting emotional over any report. Boris at work. That's what it's about. It's about the bag. And I would think, if I'm Alex Bregman, I want to come back here. Yeah. I mean, the young nucleus here, the season you just had.
Great fit.
Where when you look at injuries and drama and everything that happened, this team overachieved. You can make the case for. It's a great fit. Boston loves him. He loves it here from all reports. And what he says out of his mouth, I would think you want to come back here. Now, I would understand Detroit because they did show you love before.
Yep.
That's also a young team. And
it's another viable contender.
It is a viable contender, and we saw how they kind of flamed out in the postseason. You don't think they could have used his services?
Sure.
Of course they could have. So I would at least understand that. But in the end, I do think he returns here. I just think the Red Sox are going to have to pony up. It is what it is.
But they have it.
But you
they
have it
to spend.
And by the way,
you have it and he's worth it.
You got to spend it on him and others.
You got $250 million back by dealing away Rafael Devers.
That's right.
Now you got to use it.
Yeah.
You know, you got to take it out of the wallet. You got to spend it on a player or multiple, obviously, that get you over that hump. Because, you know, as we've talked about extensively, they have a great young core. Your championship window is wide open.
Yeah.
Now you need pieces, you need veterans. We've talked about, you know, getting a real number two, a Joe Ryan type behind Garrett Crochet, obviously. You know, you need some middle relief help, you know, to get you to Whitlock and to Chapman, obviously.
Yeah.
And you need that right-handed bat. You know, I mean, you really need one if Bregman does leave. You know, there are pieces that are.
You need something that's going to move the needle.
Yeah, we don't know is Trevor Story going to opt out? Is Jarren Duran going to be traded away to, you know, alleviate some of the outfield,
the logjam?
Right, exactly. So there's so many questions, but one of those should be easy ones to answer, Kasey, is
I'd say.
Yeah, we bring back Alex Bregman.
Yeah, which makes me appreciate Lou's tweet even more because, like, to temper the emotional roller coaster that we all want to sign up for, not me, I'm not tall enough, it's the fact that, like, yeah, the Tigers, don't laugh at that, the Tigers might have a young group too and they're a contender, but I think that's something that Alex Bregman would consider, as long as the money and everything else falls into place, because he does deserve it, is like, you could say that because of his leadership qualities, he can just hop into any other clubhouse, but it really doesn't always blend that way.
No,
you know what I mean? You don't know how receptive certain young guys are going to be, and I think the young professional athletic mentality, it's a little harder to get in there and like advise these young guys, especially if they're feeling themselves. So I think it's already kind of like a specialty to this Red Sox clubhouse that you have a Roman Anthony and a Marcelo Meyer that want to hear from an Alex Bregman. So the reality of the price point of that leadership and the fact that they're already responding to his leadership, that has to play in some facet, in my personal opinion.
Got that Houston connection with Cora too. You know, can't forget that.
Yeah, it's not just Hinch, it's Cora.
Not just Hinch.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Yeah,
that
guys,
matters.
I don't want to be that person. You know I'm not dramatic, at least I try not to be, but like, you don't have the walkout song that you have this year and go back to Houston.
Bro, she loves the walkout.
Because sometimes the walkouts tell you a lot of things. Like, it was a middle finger to Houston. I'm sorry. I'm going to stand and die on that hill.
I'm not going to lie.
He's not
I
going back
don't think he's going back to Houston.
I don't think he's entertaining it.
He's not.
He didn't like how things ended there. He's not going to entertain it. And he came here and played the right song to say, no, thank you.
I've been at Red Sox games with Kasey. The walkout song.
I lose my mind.
It matters to her. She's all in. Every player she's dialed in, and then she's looking in the meanings of each walk-up song.
I already know it. It resonates with me immediately. When Trevor Story hit Desperado, I was like, you're staying. Thank you.
See what I mean?
It. Yeah.
Jared Carabas also tweeted about this. It shouldn't come as a surprise. It'll come as a surprise if he doesn't return. I don't know. I see both sides of this. It does not come as a surprise that he opted out to get more money, like we're talking about. I don't know if I would be that surprised if he left.
I wouldn't be shocked.
I wouldn't either. Listen, him opting out tells you what it's about. I'm not saying he doesn't care about Boston, but he cares more about the money. So if he leaves, it's not going to be because he doesn't like Boston. It's going to be because he likes money more.
Right.
And someone else outbid the Sox. This is less about Bregman and more about the Sox. Are you going to pay this guy to stay?
I think it's the Red Sox effort.
Yes.
I think it's going to be the effort because, again, like you're talking about a championship window that very much exists.
Yes.
You're talking about a clubhouse that actually responds to you.
Yes.
Going to the unknown for a kind of a minute difference when it comes to that price margin, I think would be stupid.
If it's minute.
What? Yeah, I was just going to say,
If
what
it's
if it's
minute?
minute? What if there is a team that's out there that's offering 5 years at 175, and the Red Sox are checking in at, even if they go to the 5 years,
sure,
but it's 140.
Guys,
that's what I mean about the effort.
Dude, don't you remember this with Juan Soto? We were so excited around here because the Sox were actually vying for him, and it looked real and like, hey, they're a finalist. And then the Mets gave him all the money in the world, and all of us collectively said, nah, we're good.
Yeah.
What if that happens with Bregman? That's
They didn't have a
possible.
taste of Soto and how he was going to actually elevate everything. And then look at how the fan base turned on him, just a couple weeks after being there? So, like, we already got a taste of Bregman. I just feel like the effort should actually be there a bit further.
No doubt. Well, Lenny DiNardo's coming up next block to break all this down for us. So stick with us here. We'll bring him in. I call him our resident ace, Lenny DiNardo. He'll come in and he'll talk Bregman. All right, let's talk Pats here because the Pats, right now, you look up, first time since 2021, leading the division. And I will be the first. I'll raise my hand. I thought this team was a 7-win team, 8-win team. I am incorrect. What I want to do now is just run through the schedule and get a new win total so I can just stop being loud and wrong.
I love how your
on
pitch
the show.
came down when it came to this is what I said.
It was me.
Well, and by the way, like, even though I was higher on them going into the year than you, obviously, and had them at
Playoffs,
9-10
you
playoff
say.
team, that sort of thing, 7-8 was still, basically double the improvement off of what we've seen each of the last 2 years.
Yep.
Like, if the Patriots had showed, in terms of personnel, obviously most especially Drake May and Mike Vrabel setting culture and all of this stuff, if you had just seen the incremental improvement of going from 4 wins under Belichick, 4 wins under Mayo, 7-8 wins under Vrabel, people around here would have been ecstatic about that.
They already thought it was a big jump.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just now you get off to a 4-2 start. You beat Buffalo in primetime in their house, and you're at this moment through 6 weeks leading the AFC East. We move the goalposts, so to speak. Expectations get higher. They have for me.
They've definitely gotten a little higher for me. I feel like I had a good blend, though. Like, I wasn't sitting as low expectation-wise as you were. But, I mean, part of your disrespect was the fact that you did not trust Stephon Diggs, and I was on that team since day
offensive
one.
line.
Offensive line, I think we were all on the same page with
yes.
that. And the ultimate surprise being, oh, my God, Drake May can pass the ball. And, oh, by the way, because he can pass the ball, he's now in an MVP conversation. One that I would really like to hear the tires on. Yeah, I didn't see that, for sure.
All right, 617-790-0928. Of course, we're talking Alex Bregman, but we're talking Pats too. So get in here, get involved. I did see this tweet from Tankathon, which, to be fair, the last 2 years I lived on with this damn
Love
team.
Tankathon.
But they tweeted this out. The Patriots schedule is a caps lock joke. And they're right. Easiest schedule in the league, you two. So let's go through this exercise. We have the schedule in front of us. We have some paddles here with a dub on the front.
It's going to be a lot of this.
And an L on the back. So let's run through this because, again, I had 7 wins for this team. They're already halfway there with 4. So I'm off that bandwagon. Now I want to jump on. Let's go to Tennessee and see if we all agree. I do not think there's a way that this team
Not even hesitating.
loses for their head coach, Mike Vrabel, especially. Look at the state of the Titans right now.
Yeah.
You fire your guy.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're looking at Mike Vrabel like, longingly, like the one that got away.
Well, especially
You're right.
considering the one that you fired him and replaced him with.
That's right.
Is the
and
one that
tried to
went
make him
south.
look
That's what I'm saying.
sound
But I
bad.
mean, it's not even like, oh, there are a couple coaches removed. Like it was Callahan.
That's right.
That was who you trusted.
That's my point. He's the one that got away, and he did get away.
Yeah.
Because he's with us. No way he loses. That's a revenge game. Let's go.
I think that that's a W. Also,
Okay.
because throughout the season, where have the Titans had their worst performances? At home, actually.
Right.
It has been a monstrous performance on home turf for them. 30-plus points, to be exact. I know the other day we were talking about, like, hey, let's see this run game come to life a little bit. Might not be the case versus the Titans, but I'm okay with that because I want to continue to air the tires on the MVP conversation and see a 250-plus passing performance out of this guy. And the chance is there because if you look at the numbers aired out versus the Titans defense, copy, paste, grab the W, come home.
Drake May has moved to 10-1 in the MVP market, by the way. I mean, preseason it was like 65 to 1.
He's behind Baker Mayfield for passing yards this season.
There are only 3 guys, I think, in front of him. 3?
Yeah.
He's 4th? It's insane.
A lot of people are betting 10-1. No one bet 65.
I'm not betting into the new coach bump. And it is a real thing. Statistically, it is a real thing.
Not this week.
Coach bump. But generally speaking, that's more about teams playing harder, more energy, guys, especially on the field, worried about their jobs too, keeping games close, all of that, certainly not mailing it in. But still more often than not, even if the Titans cover the number, which, by the way, I still don't think they're going to do.
No.
The Patriots, the favorites in these situations, more often than not, far more often than not, win.
All right, then the Browns come here. I mean, do I need to say anything else?
Tough defense.
No further questions, Your Honor.
But you know what?
It's a good roster,
Browns
by
beat
the way.
The Packers.
It's a good roster.
It's a good defense.
I like Stefanski,
You know what I like?
but the quarterback's a mess.
You know what I like?
What?
I want this to be a Hunter Henry game.
I could see that.
I want tight end action.
I could see that.
Yep.
I could see that.
And more passing yards for Drake May.
I could see that. She's all
We're
going
to keep piling up the passing yards.
I'm going to
She's all in.
if I can prove it, I'm going to stand on it.
If it wasn't for Baker Mayfield, she'd be all in.
But the Vikings and the Browns found success with their tight ends, or the Vikings found massive success.
Yeah, and Hunter Henry's having a really good year, too. He's on my fantasy team. Thank you, Hunter. All right, now this one, I'm going to shock you, I think, just to bring some brevity to this Patriots party. I don't know who the hell, you want to talk Jekyll and Hyde, that's Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah.
Because one week it looks like Michael Penix can't play at all.
They lost by 30 in Carolina.
Yeah, then they have a bye week, which most teams get right during the bye. And I think I talked about that on air here, where I said I'm assuming Michael Penix is going to look like an NFL quarterback coming out of the bye. He did. Bijan Robinson went nuts. I like this Falcons. I like the Falcons team when they actually show up. I'll give them benefit of the doubt because this feels like a coin flip game. I'm going to go Falcons beating the Patriots. That game's here, by the way.
I think it could happen, but if there's one area where the Patriots defense has actually been pretty good besides versus the Panthers, it's stopping the run. You know, they only let up an average of like a little over 62 rushing yards
so now
per
it's
matchup.
Penix versus Drake.
Right. So if they can cause some turnovers on Penix, which young guy, maybe fluster him a little bit, collapse the pocket on him just as much as possible, it's making sure that Robinson does not celebrate and have a heyday on everybody's tombstone.
Facts.
Yeah.
Where are you going then? When?
Oh, man.
Oh, she's on the fence. She went like this. She did the halfway.
They're going to tie. They're going to tie.
Yeah, there we go.
The margin for error is this thin. I wish we could do a close. Grant, can you analyze it?
But it's accurate. The margin is
Just give them the L.
Stop it.
So I'll tell you what, the margin of error is thin, and I'm going to use the last thing that you said when you were talking about yours.
Yeah.
It's here.
Yeah,
it's here.
It's here. It is.
So for me, I am going. I'm not even being a homer. I'm going W because again, this is a deeply flawed Atlanta Falcons team that is absolutely capable of beating you. I'm not going to sit here and pretend the Patriots are, let's put them in the Super Bowl conversation. Sure. Bijan Robinson is a nightmare. You have a poor run defense, to put it kindly, for the Patriots. He absolutely could go crazy, but this is still, and maybe it's just because they cost me money, this is still a team that lost by 30 points in Carolina. Okay, now I didn't think they'd go out and beat the Bills, and they did. And honestly, you know, they really didn't have a whole lot. I know it was a relatively close game. They didn't have a whole lot of trouble doing it. And so if this game were in Atlanta, I'd flash you this. But because it's in Foxborough, I'm going to win.
It's a coin flip game. I'm down with that. All right, let's go rapid fire here. In Tampa, I'm going L. The way Baker's playing right now, I think the Bucs could end up in the Super Bowl. I really do. Yeah,
no, it's an L for me, too.
Okay, so we agree on that one.
Baker Mayfield is, for all the Drake May praise that we could do, we could do it.
We could do it.
Baker Mayfield is justifiably ahead of him in the MVP rankings. He should, as of right now, like if the vote happened now, in my mind, he's absolutely the MVP. The way they were winning these games and doing so shorthanded, whether it's, you know, the lack of Evans, Godwin, Irving, now Ibuka is out as well. You're talking about Wirfs and some of the other guys defensively that are out. It's amazing what they're pulling off. But this gives them roughly a month to get right.
Copy and paste the Seahawks game. Give Drake
I
May
could see
more
that.
yardage,
Yep.
and let's just get him up to the top 3.
This one will be quick. Jets.
Will they have a win by then?
No. That's a Thursday nighter, by the way.
0-6 right now.
Thursday nighter at Gillette, prime time.
And guess what, guys?
Dub.
This is where you run the ball down there for
Yes,
broke.
you can
all
do
day,
anything you
every
want.
day.
Do whatever you want to the
Yep.
Jets. Just win the damn game. At Cincy, no Burrow here, right? This is towards the end of
No,
November.
we're still in November.
Okay, then.
So still, and honestly, like Burrow may not play this whole year.
He may
but even
not.
still, the expectations like mid-December.
They're going to
if he does
beat.
come back.
They're going to beat a 100-year-old Joe Flacco, no doubt about that.
You know
All right,
what?
so that's a couple wins in a row.
Flacco, that's
Flacco,
so
I'm going to go
rude.
W2, but
Yes.
Flacco did have that offense looking functional in his first game.
All right.
Jamar Chase, a weapon, man.
He
and
is.
Flacco actually made him look like one again.
Okay, here's another prime timer. Monday night, Giants come here. This Giants team all of a
Frisky.
sudden. What do we think? Is this a coin flip game or are we going win here? You're going L?
No, she's
is this
going
a
down the
halfway
line
again?
She's
Why are we doing this?
This is,
Nobody
this is,
told me
gotta
I
find my
couldn't do
angle.
it.
Yeah, this is what she's doing.
Here's my thought process, because we're talking about creeping up. Is this before the bye week, right? You're creeping up
just
on the
before the
bye
bye
week.
week. Right before the bye.
Exhaustion might be kind of kicking in. The Giants
Yeah.
are that cucaracha mentality.
do.
You can't sneak them out of anything. Considering what they've done thus far, this is something that can sneak into the mix. So if I want to put on realistic goggles, maybe an
an
L,
L.
but that's fine. Right before the bye week, you come out versus the
Where are you
Bills.
going?
No, I mean, I'm going W. Listen, I realize the Giants have had some impressive wins. They also lost to the Saints. And I know it's any given Sunday.
Yeah.
And for sure, Dart looks like a weapon. Dart looks like
He is a weapon.
He looks like a legitimate quarterback that they actually have found a guy that they can build around. I like Dart.
Scatterboo can play
Scatterboo,
too.
shockingly, I did not.
He can play.
He was awesome in college, obviously. I
Yes.
did not see this
Me either.
coming
No
in
one
pros
did.
from Scatterboo, but you still don't have Malik Neighbors. We'll see what the wide receiver depth, whether it's Robinson, Slayton, guys like that, is as we get much closer. But as of right now, I'm taking the Patriots.
All right, so
Who's
you
their tight end?
you come out of the bye week, and then you get the Bills at home, but you just beat the Bills in their
Yeah,
building.
Buffalo revenge game.
So-
This feels like for the division, doesn't
But
it?
isn't
could be.
aren't
Could
these
be. It could
December
be.
games where the Bills kind of start playing
Yeah.
with their starters a
Yeah.
little bit?
Yeah.
I don't know.
But I mean, at that point, there's still 4 games left. Everyone's going to be playing, and again, this is probably going to be for the division. I'm going to go L here.
Yeah, I would look. I'm going to be in the building for this one.
How many times are we gonna do it?
I'm only on
taking,
3. What are we
I'm
doing
taking the
now?
family to this game. I hope it's a Patriots win for damn sure.
I love
but
her answer because no one told me I could.
Nobody put the
I'm going
rules
L.
down.
Patriots going to have a lot of ties this year.
All right,
This is unbelievable.
we got 3 games in 2
Coin
minutes.
tosses.
The big crab cake for the Ravens, assuming Lamar's back
He'll
by
be back.
then.
He's coming back right after the bye.
Okay,
now.
well, listen, that team's going to be desperate to try to get in the postseason.
Yeah. desperate.
They're going
So,
to make it ugly.
all right,
Google
so
it.
that's-
And that division is still very much in
That's
play.
2 losses.
Despite being 1-5, that division's in play.
So we all agree it's 2 losses
Don't
in a
roll
row.
your eyes
Yeah.
at me, bro. You didn't say the rules.
Even though one of us is on the fence, she thinks an L. All right, at the Jets, I mean, what are we doing?
All right.
All right, so we're
Sweep
back
'em.
on track.
Sweep them.
And then the season finale against the
Mike
Dolphins.
McDaniel even going to be
who-
there? Here's the question. Are the Patriots going to be resting guys that week?
Good point. I mean, listen, if you win that second Bills game, they may be.
What I just mapped out, I don't
That's
know
a
if we all,
great point.
Right?
I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know if you and I had the same thing, but what I mapped out is a 12-win season right now.
all right, hold on, let
And
me
so,
have mine.
based on that,
Do the math.
Where we at, 4?
you may not be playing your starters. That could be a Josh Dobbs
Oh,
week
damn it.
for the Patriots. You got 12-2,
No,
don't you?
when he's right.
massively.
You got
If they
12-2,
beat the,
don't
if they
ya?
beat the Bills, rest. Just relax.
Get the duck boats ready! Woo!
This was a tough segment for me. I'm going to tell you why. Miss Casey's on the damn fence the whole time, and then Adam ends up being right.
I had 3 coin
It
tosses.
This is very trying for
Coach
me.
of the Year, MVP.
I try to be a good person and have a
Happy
realistic connection with
times
our
are
Boston
here
fans.
again. Bill
Well,
Belichick's
Chat.
watching from his
A little whiskey in this.
928.
Just a little whiskey for me in this, please,
Are my
chat.
toss-ups
Thank you.
accurate?
Mike
or
Vrabel. Oh, we
are
love
we
you.
crazy?
Maybe Lenny DiNardo can help me out. He joins us next to talk to Alex
wanna
Bregman's
get
situation
somber.
with the Sox. Stay with us. I can't with you two.
I'm back.
Tell me the
Bregman.
On the
rules.
fence.
Tell me the
It's
rules.
a win. It's a win. Week after week after week. Win, 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 win. How many in a row is it going to be?
Where's that whiskey?
Does Bills want to be in first place?
It's over. Welcome back into Boston has entered the chat. Let's bring him in. Our resident ace, I call him. Lenny DiNardo joins us. Lenny, you know where I'm going here. Scott Boras is at it again, man. I mean, reports are Alex Bregman going to opt out with the Red Sox. this is just business, right? Like, he's coming back, right, Lenny? He just wants more paper, that's all.
I mean, file this under you don't say. I mean, I find it funny that a lot of people woke up this morning, made their coffee, their tea, and then collectively spit it out like this was some sort of surprise. I mean, everybody kind of knew this was going to happen. Yeah. I mean, it was a 3-year deal, $120 million, $40 a year. Everybody knows that. But there was an opt-out. There is an opt-out after every year. So he's basically betting on himself. Yeah. And this year he did exactly what he needed to do in order to go get I don't want to say more money per year, but more time, more years. You know, I think that's what he's looking for. And I feel like that's everybody's take. You know, he's trying to get, at this point in his career, he's trying to get a longer tenured contract to go out there and play baseball for a more extended period of time. And there's a lot of takers out there. You know, the Red Sox are one of them.
Yeah, you're saying everything I said earlier. So we're in complete lockstep. This was a foregone conclusion, and it's more about the term than it is the AAV. So let's project this out. Whether it is, hopefully, the Red Sox or one of these other rumored teams that could be in the mix here, what do you think Bregman wants? He wanted $200 million, according to reports, going into last offseason. Then there were the reports a few weeks back that he's looking for $150. Does $150 over 5 get it done? Is that not enough?
I think 150 over 5 is probably the minimum. I don't think he'll probably take anything less than that. Between 150, 170, possibly 180, depending on which team is offering. Listen, this guy, even with 7 weeks on the shelf with a quad injury, the second quad injury of his career, went out there and still put up remarkable numbers. Yes, he wasn't the same player after the injury. He wasn't the Alex Bregman that we saw in the first half. During the playoff run, but if you take the collective stats from the season, he had an outstanding year. He did everything he needed to do to go out there and get more time, more years. So he bet on himself. And, you know, this is similar because he's got an opt-out after 3 years every year. This is similar to The Godfather, right? I hope it's more entertaining than The Godfather Part 3 because there is an opt-out, or there's an opt-out after the 26th season, but there's also probably going to be a lockout. So this is going to be interesting to see what happens with the contract negotiations.
Can you give us
I was going to say, more, Lenny, more.
Can you give us a little Don Corleone here? What do you got, Lenny?
Just when I'm out, they pull me back in. That's going to be Bregman, right? Hopefully with the Red Sox. And hopefully the Red Sox give him an offer he can't refuse. There's another one for you right there.
Oh, my gosh.
Andy Garcia didn't know he'd be taking strays this morning. Poor guy's only getting number 3.
But this is why waking up with Lenny doesn't get any better than this. Hey, for everyone that did decide to spit out their coffee and tea this morning, that means that they wanted to lean into the drama, the element of surprise. And with that being said, there lies the whole, like, why would he consider going anywhere else? He's a leader in this room. He became the makeup of this team. Can we just kind of silence some of the noise as to why it is important for a player, especially of his caliber and the stage of his career, to have these opt-out options and bet on himself?
Yeah, I mean, you said it, right? You need a guy in the clubhouse that's a leader, a guy that not only is vocal in the clubhouse, but a guy that's going to be out, walk the walk and talk the talk. And with a lot of youngsters, this is a young Red Sox club. You've got a ton of guys that lack experience, to be completely honest. And they need somebody to look to say, this is how you go about your day, your business, day in and day out during a 162-game season. Trevor Story's one of those guys. Alex Bregman's one of those guys. And it's valuable. There's value in that. There's no really calculation or analytics that tabulate, okay, what does he bring to the clubhouse? But it's evident. You can see what he does every day, and he's accountable as well. So other teams need that as well. The Red Sox are not the only club out there that need veteran leadership in the clubhouse, and that's just another thing that he brings to the table. And, that's one of the things that, when you sign a guy like Alex Bregman, you're getting that package deal. You're getting the player, you're getting the leadership, and you're getting someone for an extended period of time to mold these rookies into what they need to be in their career.
LD, you went there, so I'm going to follow up. Trevor Story, I mean, he can opt out too, brother. Do you think he will?
Oh, that's a hard question. I'm going to say no. I don't think he's going to opt out. I think he's going to stay here. I feel like he's developed a rapport with the Red Sox organization as a whole. I feel like the first few seasons of his Red Sox career were not what he expected them or anybody expected them to be. He kind of broke out this year. And we can see an available Trevor Story, what he could bring to the table. I feel like he's going to stay here and kind of make up for lost time.
If Bregman does leave, I know, horrific question. But if Bregman does leave, what's the next best option? Suarez in Seattle is certainly going to be a heavily pursued target there in free agency, assuming he's not back with the Mariners. And then it really filters down from there pretty astronomically. I mean, where would you have your sights set?
Yeah, I think best case scenario would be Suarez. He's absolutely the next best thing. He's a little bit younger. And you also have, you know, if it hits the table and there's no other option out there, you've got Marcelo Meyer, another youngster. But you're not getting that veteran leadership that I was talking about with Bregman. This is the guy you kind of mold into the future third baseman. From what I've seen, if he can stay healthy, and that's the big question because he's had issues with that throughout his professional career, this is a guy that could be the future third baseman of the Red Sox, could be the second baseman. We just don't know at this point. But what I've seen from him is a real low heartbeat. This is a guy that's out there fielding ground balls and blowing bubbles at the same time. You know, he's not nervous out there. He doesn't let the moment get to him, which is important at such a young age. But there are going to be hiccups. That's the only thing. We've had a few seasons. We've had a lot of youngsters out there, and you have to expect hiccups when you've got guys on the infield and outfield with a lack of dirt in their spikes, so to speak. So this is, and I don't think Red Sox fans are in the mood for that, to be honest. At this point, with where they made it to the wild card series this year, they're not looking for another season of molding guys into big leaguers. They need to win now, and I feel like a lot of that hinges on whether you can get a veteran guy at third base in Alex Bregman, and also another right-handed bat, and also more starting pitching, because that's what we ran into at the end of the season. We just didn't have enough quality starting pitching. We're relying on guys with zero dirt in their spikes, and Peyton Tolley. And Connolly Early. And these guys, it's not fair to them, right? So put in that situation, I feel like, you know, these are solid guys. They're going to have a really good career. But if you're going to go into the playoffs and win, you got to have guys that have experience.
Love it. Yesterday, Travis asked Gordo about his wish list, so I'm just going to present the same question to you, Lenny. Is there a world where we keep Bregman, pay him what he deserves so that the opt-out thing doesn't loom any further, and then more importantly, get, you know, a sharpshooter when it comes to pitching, because we really need that outstanding next man when it comes to the starting pitching rotation?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. The money's there. The money's there with Rafael Devers no longer here. And, you know, now's the time. Now's the time. If you're going to go over the luxury tax, now's the time to do it. And I know there are people out there that on social media that they feel like they're pulling from their wallets. You know, they get on there and they're saying, oh, my gosh, we went over this and that. But listen, if you want to win, look at the teams that typically go out there and win every year. These are teams that go out and spend money. And it's probably going to be some trades as well. You know, this outfield, who's an outstanding outfield, you've got some guys that could be on the docket as far as leaving to bring some other arms in. So it's to be seen. I feel like there's a path to get pitching, bats, Bregman. We'll just see how far the Red Sox are willing to go in order to get it done.
All right, LD, we'll let you go with this one. It's looking like Seattle Mariners, LA Dodgers World Series. Any interest in that? It feels a little West Coasty to me, but certainly looks like that's what we're going to get, isn't it, buddy?
Yeah, you know, I like Seattle. I've liked Seattle for a long time, and for purely selfish reasons, Logan Gilbert, who's a Stetson University alumni, he broke my season strikeout record a few years ago. I called him in the clubhouse when it happened to congratulate him. I'm always rooting for that kid. He's a talent. I hope he's a Red Sox one day. To be honest, if he ever gets to it, he'd be solid here in Boston. So I'm always rooting for that kid. So let's go Mariners.
Can you look up Logan Gilbert's contract situation?
Sure, yeah, happy to do it.
There's no collusion in baseball. We can start
Listen,
working
he's solid. It's going to be tough.
There's
good.
whispers.
Hey, Lenny, by the way, I mean, he broke the record. It's not like some no-name, you know, guy you'll never see bagging groceries at Stop and Shop broke the record here. We're talking about one of the best in the game.
Can I just say that I still have the career strikeout record as Stetson? That was the season single. A little brag right there.
That's what Boston Enter the Chat stands for, bragging rights. So that's exactly what you're
What's
here
Logan?
for.
What's Logan?
Gilbert, earliest arbitration eligible 2026, earliest free agency 2028.
Hey, Lenny, there's a
He'll
chance.
be hitting his prime. He'll be hitting his prime. Let's go.
That's right.
I like that.
I like it too.
Hey, so you like Joe Ryan? I know I said it last question. That was a lie. Give me some other guys real quick. Everyone's fixated on Joe Ryan. Who do you like, Lenny, outside of him as a guy who could be complimentary to Garrett Crochet?
Oh gosh, I like Joe Ryan, Hunter Green. Have you heard those rumors? That would be outstanding.
Yeah.
Having a guy like Green come to Boston from Cincinnati.
I like him.
The other thing that I've been hearing, Sonny Gray. He's not exactly a spring chicken, but he's a guy that's an experience.
Yeah,
he's been around, but he's another guy that you could sign. That's not a 2 or 3, but he's back in rotation guy that has experience, and there's a lot of upside. If he's who he is throughout his career, he's a guy that could help the rotation a lot.
I like those names. I mean, a lot of them are cheaper than Joe Ryan, too, if we're being fair. I know we're talking about the Sox need to spend money. But again, a lot of those guys you named are a less expensive choice. We'll just say, Lenny, we appreciate you waking up with us always. I would tell you we're not going to do this to you again, but we definitely are, my friend.
Can I do it again? Just when I think I'm out, they bring me back in.
That's right.
We love him. Our resident ace, Lenny DiNardo. Still to come here on Boston Has Entered the Chat. When we come back, we'll explore what's trending in the world of sports. Next, right here. You're up. You might as well stay with us. Good morning. Time now for what's trending in the world of sports. Did you see the Dodgers beat the hell out of the Brewers yet again? 5-1.
Again, no compassion.
Fairness, the first game was close. It was 2-1.
Whatever.
No
this series is
compassion.
over.
Shot bottom
No
9.
compassion.
These series are trash,
This one they
and
worked
you
them.
know it.
What made it worse is you brought in trending like on an Olympic level and then just crushed the hopes and dreams.
What are we
of
bothering to
Brewers.
talk about here?
Another
I'm sorry.
You went full Bob Uecker in Major League.
These series,
Nobody's
series
listening.
suck, man. Like Toronto. I mean, these games were in your house. You understand that, right? Okay.
You say the same to Milwaukee.
Yeah, how about you, Milwaukee? I know you're drunk on spotted cow and cheese curds, but like, you're getting your arse handed to you in your building. Now you got to go to L.A. It's over. Blue Jays. Now you got to go to Seattle. It's over. These series stink. I'm sorry. But Yamamoto did his thing. He throws a complete game as the Dodgers win Game 2, commanding 2-0 series lead. Here's a tweet here. I mean, look, the Dodgers bullpen stinks. But it doesn't matter. That's what I mean. It doesn't matter because all their pitchers, we saw it with Snell too. So now Yamamoto throws the first Dodgers postseason complete game since 2004. Like, you don't need your bullpen when these guys are doing it.
Well, Snell went 8, didn't he?
Yeah.
So these two guys, we've had one relief inning so far.
That's crazy.
In 2 games. It's true. I mean, these 2 series are going to end in, if not sweeps, 5.
Yes.
The gentleman's sweep.
Absolutely.
You're not going to get much out of the Brewers in LA, or I don't think the Blue Jays in Seattle. This is a case where, in part too, it's not even just like we're talking about the offenses. The pitching staffs are just better. Front of the rotations are just better for both of these teams. So, yeah, we are setting up. You talked about it with Lenny.
Yeah.
We're setting up for that Seattle against L.A., which I do hope is a good, compelling series because these Final Fours have not been.
Do you think it will be, though? Because I don't. I always call the Dodgers the Avengers.
Yeah, I mean, they do feel inevitable, right? They're Thanos. But I do like Seattle. I like the moves that were made at the deadline.
Me too.
I like all of that offensive depth. They have the pitching. We'll see what happens with Wu. Again, they haven't used him yet this postseason. He was unavailable prior to this series. This series so far, he hasn't pitched.
Sure.
I assume we're going to get a look at him here. But, if he's right, and I know he hasn't gone in a while, but if he's right, come the, World Series, this is an impactful rotation that you're dealing with for Seattle.
I'll tell you what, Case.
Yeah.
Major League Baseball wins because if it's Toronto and Milwaukee, no one gives a damn.
Very true.
I mean, at least you can sell Mariners and Dodgers. You could sell that. Since the deadline, the Mariners, you could argue, one of the best teams in the league, right? And the Dodgers are the Dodgers. I know it's kind of West Coasty and we don't care out here and the games are too late.
Yeah, but I feel like the Mariners
that.
have done enough to buy in outside fans in a sense. You know what I mean?
Well, they're a big franchise.
Well, but on top of the fact of the season that they've had, the players that they've pulled in, I feel like the way that they've managed the season, you're okay with rooting for them if your team's not in the mix, and you're definitely okay with rooting for them over the Dodgers, who were other people are probably okay, I'm tired of seeing the Dodgers.
Good point.
In the
There's a
World Series.
likability to the
That's
Mariners.
what it is.
think that's fair to say.
Yeah.
All right, how about, did you like this? Because I didn't. Al Horford went scorched earth as far as I'm concerned. He claims he left the Celtics to join the Warriors because of the moolah, of course, Jason Tatum's injury, and he didn't feel like the team could compete for a title. Okay,
I don't like this.
Let's just relax here, Al. I could see if he said all this and left and went to the actual champs, okay, the Oklahoma City Thunder. But, bruh.
Been there, done that.
Bruh, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You can't go to the Warriors and start talking to me. I do not believe that Warriors team is good enough to win the title this year. Out West, let's just think about the Western Conference. Okay, you have the Thunder, who are the champs.
Yeah.
The Rockets are better. If Wemby's health holds up, all of a sudden now the Spurs look like the real deal, Holyfield. There's a ton of teams out West that the Warriors have to worry about. I don't think you can just look at Boston and say, well, yes, certainly maybe this year you could say that, but the championship window's still open here in Boston. So what? You'd have a year of you're not making it, you're fighting for a playoff spot? Who gives a damn? To suggest that the Warriors are just going to mop through everyone and win the title, that's not true. He's lying. It's not.
So
it's false. Scorched earth.
I mean, that particular tweet, which obviously is more aggregated, sounds a little harsher than it was if you read the story and you see the quotes from Horford. It's not quite simmering at that level. Where, F you, Boston, I'm out.
I'm out.
You're off
That's
to
how I
Golden
took it.
State. No,
That's how
I was going to say, I felt some extra layer of
That's how I
emotion
took it.
there.
It's how the tweet felt a little bit, you know, so good job on Legion Sports or whoever it was. But look, Jason Tatum's future is uncertain. We know that. I think the three of us believe that at some point he's coming back this year. Whenever that is, we'll see what he looks like. And does that roster around him, you know, can it get into the contender conversation in a wide open East?
Sure.
I'm not automatically going to dismiss it. And I think to your point, you started to highlight this with the Western teams. There's, you know, if you look, I like to reference Vegas. If we're going to look at what Vegas is telling us, okay, here are your odds in order to win the NBA championship. Both conferences. OKC, fine, defending champs. Cleveland, fine. You got a nice roster there, and again, wide open East. Denver, led by Jokic. New York, LA, both of them. I think that's a little high on the Lakers
of course it
and
is.
Clippers, but even still. Houston, your team. Minnesota,
Yes.
Orlando,
Yes.
Atlanta.
Minnesota.
Notice I haven't said Golden State yet. Then we get to Golden State at 25-1. You know who's next on the list?
Who?
The Celtics
That's
at
crazy.
30-1. They are right behind the Golden State Warriors in the odds. So, Al, I mean, you don't make the Warriors that much better. I mean, if he wanted to come out and say, I wanted an opportunity where I could start on a good competitive team throughout the year, that'd be fine.
Yeah.
That would be fine.
Didn't say that.
And I like Al Horford. I've been long an Al Horford defender. But guys, again, Warriors, they are 15-1 to win the West. That is 7th in the conference. That puts them in the play-in tournament.
That's right.
That's the play-in tournament.
That's
you know
where
where
we
the
think the
Celtics are in
Celtics
the
will be.
East?
Yes.
11-1. That's tied for 5th.
That's right.
You're in the playoffs.
Yeah.
1 through 6. That's just the way it works.
Yes.
That's basic math. Al Horford, if he wanted to step out on Boston and go somewhere else and give himself a legitimate chance at a ring,
Not the
fine,
Warriors.
I applaud you to do that at 39 years old. Golden State ain't that team.
No.
Steph Curry is gradually regressing. He's just getting older. Father time wins.
So's Jimmy
That's
Butler.
the way it works.
So's Jimmy Butler.
God.
That team's not winning a title. Final word
It's
from
not.
you, Case, on this, and we're out.
Long story short, hurt feelings by Al. That's all I got.
That's what I
Bat
took
those
it.
beautiful eyelashes at us, Al.
I took it personal.
That's all it is.
I took it. It's a
all
pretty
it
man.
is.
You're a pretty man, Al, but you hurt our feelings with this one. When we come back, the Bees are on the road again. But how will they fare on this West Coast swang? We'll break it down next, right here on Boston Has Entered the Chat. Stay with us.
I think obviously a lot of new guys and new faces this year, so it'll be fun to get on the road, and obviously not a much better place to bond than Las Vegas, so yeah, it should be a good time. Obviously very important games at the same note, so yeah, we're looking forward to it.
Hey, from the Bruins, Kasey, to our Kasey, because listen, he's talking about bonding in Vegas, but look at this. This is a tough 3-game roadie right here. Tomorrow night on the late night tip against the Golden Knights, Saturday night against the Avalanche, Sunday night against the Mammoth, Lord have mercy, Case. This is Murderer's Row out on the West.
Exhale. And the tough part is going to be the back-to-back right there, Saturday to Sunday, coming off of Colorado. That's really probably going to be one of those tests that you're just like, let's keep it close versus anything else. I mean, the 4 lines that they can rotate against their opponents can really take the oxygen out of any sort of situation. Utah will be a fun one. That's where they can really kind of make some things solvable because you're talking about a high-octane offense. If this defense is hard to play against, if this team is hard to play against, how can they slow down a Mammoth offense is what I'm looking at.
Okay, Adam, I mean, according to math here, you're either going to go 3-0, 2-1, 1-2, or over. What are we looking at?
Are you allowing for overtime or shootout losses?
True,
you got
true,
third
true,
category
true,
there.
true.
Did you? I know rightfully they're focused on the road trip. Did you look at what's on the other side of that, by the way, when you get home?
When they get back, Florida.
The return of Brad Marchand in his first game against the Bruins at the Garden.
Yeah.
So it ain't going to be easy coming up here. The more I think about this, and I was frustrated watching that last game on Monday, I have a gripe. We sat here Monday morning, and I think we had the same expectation before you were in the building to watch that game, by the way, that Jeremy Swayman was going to start that game.
Yep.
Not Korpisalo.
Yep.
Okay? What ends up happening? Korpisalo. Now, I don't know if people have dug into it. Can you tell me, without looking it up, what Jeremy Swayman makes annually?
No.
$8.5-ish million.
Okay.
You know what Korpisalo makes?
Not that.
4.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, I realize the Bruins didn't give him that contract. They traded for him. But even still,
Yeah.
you have a number 1 goalie. You do not need, I mean, if it's a back-to-back, fine. Like, you're not going to roll your goaltender out back-to-back days.
Yeah.
But you had a position here, a 3-0 start.
Yes.
Where Jeremy Swayman has played 2 games, and he's been lights out in both of them.
Yep.
He's allowed 2 goals. That's it, through 2 games. And you got your first real test coming into your house. Washington was a test, it was there.
Yeah.
You got your first real test coming into your house.
A desperate Tampa
in a
team.
desperate Tampa team.
Tampa team.
Yeah.
If you had told me going into that game, I'm not going to tell you whether the Bruins win or lose, but I am going to tell you the Bruins are going to score 3 goals, and they're going to win 70% the faceoff dot, and they're going to have a perfect penalty kill, going 5 for 5. I wish you would have told me Jeremy Swayman would be in net because I think that helps lead you to a win.
Absolutely.
Now, maybe he's not good. Maybe he allows 4 goals. Maybe he's worse.
Let's
but
see
I
it.
think
You
on
didn't want
paper,
that element of
I
what
wanted
if.
to see it.
Let's see it.
I wanted to see you go on the road high and feeling yourself 4-0, especially because even if the logic from Marco Sturm, from goalie Bob, from all of these guys, even if the logic was, all right, but we want to open the trip against a tough Vegas team there with Jeremy Swayman. Do it!
Yes.
Do it!
Yeah.
Think about the time off, all right?
Right.
You have the day off, you play on Monday.
Yeah.
You can play Swayman that afternoon, and then you don't play again until Thursday. Guess what? You could play Swayman again.
Sure could.
You don't need to go every other. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Are we taking this season seriously or not? You have a number 1 goaltender. He doesn't need to start. I know they mapped this stuff out going into the year, barring injury and all of that stuff, but it doesn't need to be this 50-30-ish split kind of thing. Like, guess what? Jeremy Swayman, if he's rolling, he can play 55, 60 games. He's allowed to do that.
Yeah. Okay, so we know where he stands. Where does Coach Marco stand in terms of the mentality of this team going into this roadie? Take a listen to this.
We had a really good start, even today. It was just unfortunate because we just had a slow start. But other than that, no, the guys, and I said it many times before, the guys really buy in. Guys, it's been a lot of fun around him, but again, he can rest, and that's the biggest thing. It's a tough league, and now look at the teams who are coming up. So it's going to be a big challenge. It's going to be a big test again. See where we at, and it's going to be a lot of up and downs during the season, but we want to stay consistent. I think that's going to be the biggest message for us, or for me, to my guys. Be consistent. We're going to take the day tomorrow. It's probably the only 2 days in between we have in a long time, so we're going to use it, and we're going to be ready in Vegas.
Okay, ready in Vegas.
Are they taking in shows, going to the Sphere?
I mean, a lot to react to there.
Yeah.
Coach's comments, AK's comments. Where do you weigh in?
I'll weigh in on the goalie talk for a second, because once you see a team's number 2 go in, then you're basically almost kind of trying to level the playing field. In a sense, I can't speak for what the mentality was for the Bruins going into it. I can say we can't entirely be like, if Sway was between the pipes, that it was going to ultimately change. I mean, 2 of the goals that got picked up, one of them, Gensel got his stick on McAvoy and really just kind of ruined any sort of transition that was going to start to punch out of their defensive zone. Number 2, it was a takeaway that quickly ended up being pivoted, and the Tampa Bay Lightning are a fast team. So Swayman wasn't that great last year, but he didn't have a reliable defense in front of him either. So I'd copy and paste that to say the real test as to whether or not you have a valid point here is what takes place versus Vegas. You've got a lot of guys that are going to be snipers from mid-range, and that's what snuck up on Korpisalo to a degree. I mean, Cirelli's very quick on the trigger to get those shots off, and a number of guys did that before they started jamming up the net. So I want to see how Swayman responds to this, sitting at an 8.89 save percentage versus Vegas, and having guys that have some success against him. But the bonding really is a thing. We saw it work out for the New Jersey Devils when they had their global series, went to Czech, came back, and they had a lot of new faces on their roster, came back and kind of went on a hot streak. I know it worked for the Tampa Bay Lightning years ago when they went to Sweden. They were a mess before the global series, had that bonding experience, were able to come back and take off on a winning streak themselves. So more importantly, it's just seeing this team get back to cleaning up certain mistakes, because when you see the kind of win that took place over the Capitals, you don't want to see them falling apart like they did, because if they had a better first period, we're talking about a completely different result Monday, and we're talking about a different energy going into this road trip.
Okay. I'm going to go dub against Vegas tomorrow night. I love the Avalanche. I think they're going to win the Cup. I'll go loss against the Avs. I think you beat Utah. So that's 2-1. And then I don't want to talk about Brad coming to TD Garden, okay? I don't want to talk about it. What do you guys think of a 2-1 road trip here?
It's great. I mean, whether it happens or not, we'll see. But if you go 2-1, I don't think you can help but feel great about that if you're the Bruins, especially considering the caliber of opponent.
Can you see that playing out, what I laid out?
I can, but I can see them making it more interesting. I mean, Seattle Kraken, if you look at their roster, there's some similarities to the Bruins, and they had a very competitive game versus the Vegas Golden Knights. So I can see at least one overtime game take place, but I'm more so leaning towards overtime versus the Mammoths. I think the Avalanche take it. Hopefully the Bruins can just keep it close, but I think it could be a little bit of a toss-up versus Vegas. I'm not going to lie.
So that's a coin flip game to you.
Yeah, it's a little bit different of a back end without Pietrangelo, with Hanifin being day-to-day. You know, Hill can be snuck up on with some of the ways that this team can score. So I think that there's a chance.
I'm still not ready to talk about Brad coming back.
I'm not used to saying Mammoth.
I know. I don't like it.
I keep saying Mammoths.
I say Utah. I hate saying Mammoths. 617-790-0928.
Prehistoric.
Call us. We're not done here. We're done on NESN. Remember, Monday through Friday on NESN, we're here at 8 a.m. 9 a.m. on NESN Nation. So the party continues. Come roll with us there. 617-790-0928. We'll see you there. Peace.